Phil Sevilla.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. I'm here to I'm here representing a coalition of organizations who are mounting a major battle to oppose the expansion of Planned Parenthood South Texas' abortion enterprise in San Antonio, which includes members of the neighborhood association, the Dream Hill Estates, that have not been informed about why a major abortion center is being set up right in their backyard. We oppose Planned Parenthood South Texas' deceptive effort to fast-track the opening of a 22,000 square foot ambulatory surgical center in the heart of San Antonio without a resolution to proper zoning, building safety standards, traffic safety, neighborhood buffering issues, without them being resolved. We believe that City San Antonio officials may be complicit in supporting the business expansion without proper oversight, without failing to meet their own municipal compliance standards. This is in District 8. I talked to Mr. Nirenberg before Christmas and asked him what he thought about this, and what he told me was in his business, was in his decision. Mr. Nirenberg, this is a very serious undertaking here. Planned Parenthood proposes with 2,800 or more abortions in San Antonio will become the abortion capital of South Texas. What I'd like to find out from all of you, Councilman and Mayor, I will send you a short form on behalf of our coalition members and ask you one thing. Do you support the expansion of abortion in San Antonio, and San Antonio becoming the abortion capital of South Texas? Most of you have elections in May. We will assume, if you do not respond to that form, that you do support Planned Parenthood's expansion. And I also have one bone to pick with you, Mr. Nirenberg. Your chief of staff said that he would give us some time with you after the holidays. I called him twice and there was no response. I hope that you are more responsive to your other constituents. Thank you.
Dr. Guy McClung.
Good evening, and thank you for letting me speak. I'm Dr. Guy McClung, a fifth generation San Antonian. I'm here to speak about a war on defenseless children who cannot speak for themselves, but speak for them. A new killing business, the Planned Parenthood flagship, is opening on Babcock Road. When it opens, it will be able to do 20 abortions a day. Some days, all 20 of those babies will be Hispanic. Without a name, they will be put in a trash dumpster, with their hearts no longer beating as nameless body parts. They will never live to be someone. Someone's Maria, Isabella, Jose, Miguel, Jesus, Guadalupe. Since the Supreme Court admitted the right to abortion, there have been 57 million babies killed in America. 12 million of those have been Hispanic. Planned Parenthood kills over 1 million babies every 3 years. Although minority mothers account for less than a third of the population, 55% of babies killed are minorities. Planned Parenthood's new flagship will be like a slave ship, and babies will die on it. For minority babies, it will be a death ship. Planned Parenthood has been reporting accepting donations agreeing to use the money only to kill minority babies. Planned Parenthood places about 80% of its business locations in our near minority neighborhoods on purpose. Planned Parenthood's patrona and founder, Margaret Sanger, referred to minorities as human undergrowth. Just like weeds, weeds are to be pulled out, chopped up, and exterminated. Black financial analyst William L. Davis said this about Planned Parenthood. There is no way you can escape the implications when an organization has a history of racism, when its literature is openly racist, when its goals are self-consciously racial, and when its programs invariably revolve around race. It doesn't take an expert to realize that the organization is indeed racist. For more information, go to bloodmoneysa.com. For information about Planned Parenthood's minority genocide, go to abort73.com and blackgenocide.org. It is beyond morally reprehensible that some civic leaders here, church leaders, public officials, political leaders do not condemn this minority holocaust. And if you allow this racist killing business to open here, the most dangerous place for a minority baby in South Texas will be in its mother's room as it walks through the doors into these killing chambers. Thank you for this opportunity to speak to you.
Thank you. Mark Pettis. Ms. Muriel.
Good evening. My name is Sylvia Villarreal, and I'm a resident of District 9, and I am here again this evening to voice my concerns about 2140 Babcock, who is banking on opening for business soon. Even though it is not zoned correctly for business, this Planned Parenthood building will be conducting abortions. It has now become public knowledge that this facility is not zoned according to our city zoning rules and regulations. And for weeks, I have come to Citizens to Be Heard to voice my concerns, my grave concerns, over the disgraceful business expansion of Planned Parenthood in our fine city. This afternoon, I talked with an assistant in District 9, Mr. Cryer's office, and he informed me that my concerns about zoning of 2140 Babcock would be forwarded to Councilman District 8, Mr. Nierenberg's office, because this facility is in his district. Therefore, now I ask you, Mr. Nierenberg, what are you doing about Planned Parenthood's facility at 2140 Babcock? It is getting ready to open for business despite that it is in violation of our city's zoning laws. Also, do you know if Planned Parenthood has applied for a rezoning permit? And I'm not sure how this works, how we facilitate this, if you can even answer those questions here. Can you? Sir? Can you answer this?
We'll just hear from the council, from
Okay,
citizens.
sorry.
Thank you.
I'm very concerned that the public schools that my grandchildren attend may soon have bars and strip joints, along with porn shops, right around the corner because of the possible lawlessness of our zoning regulations in San Antonio. Planned Parenthood appears to be extremely confident about opening up for business as scheduled. For those of you who have not seen this facility, I tell you, it is very evident that the facility at 2140 Babcock is ready to go into business. And every citizen should be concerned, because according to Planned Parenthood's estimates, I repeat myself that I've done this several times, that a total of about 2,800 babies in their estimates will be aborted per year in this facility. This is the complete eradication of more than the current enrollment of 4 elementary schools in the Northside Independent School District, just in the first year of business. Planned Parenthood is in the business for profit, and being a prior small business owner, a business for profit model will target growth year in and year out.
Thank you, Ms. Beard.
Thank you.
Patrick Von Dolan.
Mayor Taylor, Councilman, appreciate your time, appreciate your attention, Mr. Saldana. What I'm here to show you is to talk about what Planned Parenthood really does. Planned Parenthood is in the business of killing babies. That's how they're making their money. I know they'll tell you it's less than 10% of their business, but if you actually go into their numbers, it's actually 93.7% of their business. They can misconstrue the numbers all they like. The facts are facts. 93.7% of their business is made up by surgical abortions. That doesn't even count the chemical abortions. So let's talk about South Texas. Planned Parenthood, who has colored itself with a company called Del Turro Investors, who purchased a building a year ago under this fictitious corporation, this shell corporation, changed its registered agent from Alan Kramer, Senior VP of Bank of America, who's the chairman of Planned Parenthood South Texas, to none other than Jeffrey Hans on November 12, 2014, with the Secretary of State, became the registered agent. So at that point in time, they decided that it was convenient for them to become known as Planned Parenthood. They let it be known. Until then, citizens had no way of finding out and no way of knowing that Planned Parenthood would be buying 2140 Babcock and 2134 Babcock. So to the issue at hand, this sheet right here shows you demographics of Planned Parenthood's, of their victims. There's no other way to put it. Victims who are in a crisis situation, who are not involved in a choice, but have no choice. The absence of a choice because they're being pressured into it. Being pressured by what they conceive to be money. They don't know about the Baby Moses Law. So I would suggest that the City Council consider spending some of those $20 million that is used on social issues in the city budget each year. Put some awareness programs out there, like chastity awareness programs, and awareness programs for the Baby Moses Law exist. That'd be a good use of those $20 million used for social issues. Let's promote the Baby Moses Law so the citizens of San Antonio know that they have a recourse to do something natural, that the woman can do the best thing for herself after she's conceived the baby, is give birth to that baby. That's the healthiest thing she can do. As you can see here, abortion is racism. Abortion is racial eugenics. These are South Texas, Planned Parenthood South Texas numbers themselves. Hispanic babies, 71%. White babies, 20%. Black babies, 5%. And other, 4%. We live in a city that has over 60% Hispanics. Who's being targeted? This is racial eugenics. It's time for y'all to look into what's happening in the zoning as soon as you can. We implore you to protect women and unborn babies.
Thank you, Mr. Margolis. Daniel Petrie. Daniel Petrie. Mike Nufke.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, City Council. Let's put that one up. This is what we're talking about, 2140 Babcock. If you're not aware of it, take a look at it. The letter behind it, you'll flip that over after you can show the letter, is from the Development Services Department, telling us that that is unfit. Let me rephrase that. This building is unfit, and I'll read it. Unfit use for cold storage, medical surgery facility, and a hospital are not permitted uses within C1 base zoning district. This is their label, and yet they continue to let it be built. Now, Sylvia got it right. She's been here. Many of us have been here time and time again. And it seems like we can't get any traction. We've talked to John Jackson. We've talked to all kinds of people. It dawned on me, there's more to this story than what meets the eye. So if you'll allow me, I went to the elections website on the city, and it became very clear to me what's going on here. And I think it's time we have a very candid conversation. These are not accusations. I am not accusing anybody of anything. But the contributions, we took a board member of Planned Parenthood, and we took their top 50 donors out of 1,083 donors. We only took the top 50, and we took the board members. Got the picture? And we went to the city campaign to see what happened. And what I discovered was incredible. And if you'll just listen to these names, some of you aren't here anymore, I understand that. Mike Villarreal is all over this thing. It's funny, Leticia Vanderpute is not. I thought that was interesting. Ray Lopez, Julian Castro, Diego Bernal, Mike Villarreal, Julian Castro, Diego Bernal, Ron Nuremberg, Joe Cryer, Ivy Taylor, Diego Bernal, Joseph Cryer, Ron Nuremberg, Ray Saldana, Joseph Cryer, Julian. The list goes on and on and on. Folks, it is not illegal to contribute to it. I have somebody.
Okay.
Jack Finger. It is not illegal to contribute to a campaign. I understand that. We're all grown-ups here. But gosh, we need to have a candid conversation, people. You're voting on this stuff. You influence this stuff. And there's $100,000. $100,000 with the current board member and you guys here with Julian and Diego. There's 100,000 reasons. Everybody's turning their eye on this. 100,000 reasons. That's just the top 50. It took 4 hours to do this. We didn't go any further. There's probably 500,000 others here. I don't have any idea. Now I know there's a rule that says if there's a license and there's some negotiations going on for a license, that you can't get involved. Now I don't know if that was broken or not. Okay, but that's why we can't get you to listen to us. This is real stuff. And it's real life and death in this case. This is not fit. Look at this. Train Hill Estates, a small little sleepy community. Said, hey, I'll buy here. Nothing's going to go wrong. It's just a business here. C1. They might as well put up a porn shop here. It's the same as C3 as it is. No, Planned Parenthood shows up here. They call it their flagship. The regional flagship is what they call it. 22,000 square feet of killing facility. This is real. This isn't pretend. I asked you to talk to planning, talk to zoning. Let's get some justice here for these poor people that live behind here. They bought this. The property values have plummeted. I mean, I can only imagine if it happened in my neighborhood or your neighborhood. Just think about that. This is a for real thing. And we feel like we're getting nothing but stares and deafness, blindness all the time. We implore you to please take a look at this. Look at the zoning. Look at the traffic. Do you know there's no direct way to get in here? You have to, every single person has to do a U-turn. Did you know that? Every single person to get in there has to do a U-turn. Every single person has to take a U-turn, unless you're coming from Warspach. If you're coming from Warspach, they don't have to take a U-turn. But how many people are going to be coming from Warspach? They'll be coming from 410, you know? So the majority is going to be U-turn. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Betty Eckert.
I signed up for the charter revision. I don't know if you're going to give me extra 3 minutes, and if you don't, it doesn't matter. I can say everything I have to say in 3 minutes. I'm going to go back to Planned Parenthood Chief. I think this is probably one of the greatest mistakes in business in San Antonio that we can do. Goodness gracious, so many other things. We're going to bust in the young ladies that need an abortion into San Antonio from the valley. My goodness, most of you up here have children. How how many of you would like to have had those children aborted and not have that child had? I think that this needs some serious thought, and Councilman Youngberg, I think it needs not a plan, but it definitely needs a study, and I think you ought to make that recommendation. And I know that you said you weren't going to put your faith or your religion before your decisions. I think it's time that you kind of start thinking about things, sir.
It seems that our city council, you, our city manager, you, our city attorney, you, our zoning department, you, our building permits department, you, our development services department, have not done your duty. How could you issue a building permit for construction? Every construction and remodeling project gets a fine-tooth review and inspection. Try and get a simple permit for a sprinkler system, no matter how small. Remodel your kitchen. How can you expect to uphold the rule of law when you refuse to and selectively enforce the laws of this city for zoning and construction? I've heard that my city councilman, Ron Nuremberger, has taken a hands-off approach to this construction. If true, I don't know his reasoning. Maybe it's to let the city departments perform their due diligence. But now that the facts have been made known, no thanks to our Express newspaper, to not get involved is an abdication of responsibility. Whether this is Planned Parenthood or whatever organization, they need to follow the law. Thank you.